Hello, students. It is Sunday, October 30th, day before Halloween. I'm recording. Last week, I did this video in front of Rutford Steiner, and then I thought, hey, why the heck not do it on campus? So many of y'all, in fact, I hope all of y'all recognize where I am. Okay, here we are. A little song that I used to start out is a song called Last Night by the Marquis. About a month ago, I was driving from Houston, Texas to Louisiana, and I was inside the Texas border. I hadn't hit Lake Charles, Louisiana yet. Pull off, looking for a Popeyes fried chicken place. Love Popeyes. See this collectible shop on the side of the road. I collect lots of weird stuff. I had to go in. I found this song, which I knew the song. I didn't know what it was called. Very, very killer song. And I got it on somewhat obscure label. I think the more popular version of that song is on the Stax label. Anyway, here we go. Last week, the topic was electronic media regulation. That was the topic. The topic last week was electronic media regulation. And on Packback for last week, I posted a question about the fairness doctrine. Do we need some new version of the fairness doctrine, and how might that work? Many people responded. I thought more people would respond, but whatever. Got 15 responses. Most of the responses were something along the lines of something like this is not needed because there's so many different outlets out there that people can find whatever viewpoint they want, and that either it's not needed or some new version of the fairness doctrine would not be enforceable. I think that we probably need something. I do think we need something to hold media outlets more accountable. I'm now referring to what's called the classic third person effect. The third person effect, for those of you who don't remember, is when people believe that media does not affect them, but media might affect other people. And I do believe that's true, that I might be a very media literate person. I might be able to fact check things. When I see a political commercial on TV, I know that that's paid for by someone. There's all these propositions. We're being bombarded with ads right now. I know that that's being paid for by someone. But some people might not be so media literate. I'm not trying to be dismissive of other people, but they might not pay attention. They might not be literate. They may think that's the local news broadcasting the information to them, and therefore they should believe it. So I think we do need some type of improved regulations to cut down on misinformation and disinformation. For media outlets, I think maybe I haven't thought this through exactly, but I'm thinking maybe if you based it on size, if a media outlet was a certain size and was making a certain amount of money from advertising, paying taxes on all the money they were making for advertising, then maybe they should be held accountable and provide some level of fact checking and be somewhat responsible for the information they're putting out over the airwaves or online. And then I also think, changing gears a little bit for politics, I do think we need more regulations about the amount of money that can be used for political campaigning, whether it's on social media, radio, or TV. It's completely out of control. There was a Supreme Court case more than 10 years ago called Citizens United that just opened the floodgates to, and I just think we have too much of it. Whether it should be reduced in the financial amount of money that can be devoted to political advertising, or just a time limit. Like we should not be getting ads 6 months out so that you're sick of the campaign before it happens. Anyway, all this is to say is I do think we need some type of improved regulations to improve the flow of information that is coming to the American people. Okay. Other things from Pack Back. Two people posted very similar questions about social media and regulation. Julia Harding posted a question, and Brenna posted a question. One of the questions was, Brenna posted a question about would social media regulations affect advertising? And obviously it would affect. Advertising has really gravitated to social media. And influencers are supposed to disclose if they've been paid. There are provisions put out by, I believe it is, and someone actually linked this from the Federal Trade Commission, some FTC guidelines. The FTC guidelines about disclosing if you've been paid to promote something. I don't think a lot of people do that, or not everyone does that. They probably should. But we do have regulations about advertising on social media. Perhaps we need more. And then Giselle Morales posted a good question about broccoli journalism. This is referencing, so I made a similar metaphor in my video lecture about, candy for breakfast versus, healthy stuff. And broccoli journalism is giving people good, positive, not positive in the sense of uplifting, but like valid information that helps people lead their lives and would improve the state of democracy, but it might not be fun, exciting, titillating, etc. Broccoli journalism, journalism that's good for you. And I do think we need that. But then other people, as some people posted out on the pack bag, you have to make it attractive enough that people are going to want to watch this news. Even if you're giving healthy food to kids, you might hide it in cheese and hide it in mashed potatoes or something. So you have to do something to make that news palatable to the public. um, I think we've gone too far towards the candy for breakfast side. But I did like that discussion that, broccoli journalism, how much of it do we need and how much of it is healthy? The other big topic of the week is Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter. I assume most of y'all have paid attention to this. Yeah, it's a big story, and it's directly relevant to the subjects in JMS 494. I'm going to I'm going to send out via email, not post on Canvas. I'm just going to send it out via email for those of you who want to read it. It is a article from an outlet called Verge, or The Verge, about the difficulties that Elon Musk is going to face. I mean, he's been crying and championing himself as a savior of the First Amendment, and he's going to let people back onto Twitter, maybe even let former President Trump come back to Twitter. Twitter can't just become a completely unregulated free-for-all where people to post anything. I've expressed many times that there's certain level of regulations that are just unavoidable. We can't be posting pornography, child pornography, sex trafficking, violence against people, explicit calls for violence. There are certain things that are legal, certain very, very offensive, highly offensive types of speech that are legal, but that are just not conducive to a good environment or to a healthy discussion. And would any advertiser want to be part of a platform that was just, running rampant, a hellscape for trolls? Why would any advertiser want to be part of that? And Twitter is losing. I mean, Twitter does bring in money, but they spend more money. Twitter's losing money. Like, why would anyone want to be part of this? And why? And just your average bread and butter users might leave the platform too if it becomes completely wild and people attacking each other. So there's going to have to be some level of regulation. What level is that going to be? Is that going to alienate all the people who are Elon Musk supporters right now? I, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not leaving Twitter. I'm not fleeing Twitter yet. I understand many people are leaving Twitter for other platforms, or at least say they are, including one called Mastodon. Um, and this might be a lot of concern, and maybe things aren't going to change at all. I don't know, but just pay attention to it, because I think it's directly relevant to JMS 494. And last but not least, the topic of the week is a movie. You're going to watch a movie, Good Night and Good Luck. It's a black and white movie. It's not made in the era of black and white, but it's made to look like something old. Um, I think it's a really good movie. If you pay attention, there's a video lecture that you should watch before the movie to explain some of the concepts. It deals with the fairness doctrine. It deals with the power of affiliates in the broadcast television relationship. And it also deals with this great essential question about journalism. Are journalists stenographers or fact checkers? Just because a politician comes out and says something um, that's not factual, a politician, you know, all politicians say things that are not factual. The current president does it sometimes. The last president did it all the time. Is it the job of the reporter to just put a microphone in that person's face and broadcast that untruth, or to say, hey, this is not true? I sometimes think about the metaphor of working in a restaurant. Just because you order some food, if it's not good, if it's filled with maggots, if it's old and tainted and stale, the restaurant can't just serve it to you and say, hey, it's not my problem. You ordered it, you eat it. The restaurant has to take some responsibility for giving you something that they know or should have known was bad. I think journalists and media outlets, getting back to the discussion of the fairness doctrine, have to take some responsibility for providing that information. You can't just say, hey, you figure it out. It's up to you. So anyway, in the movie, Edward R. Murrow and Fred Friendly and others feel that journalists should not be stenographers, and they insert themselves into this big issue that the politician McCarthy is making a big deal about. Anyway, I hope you liked that song by the Marquis. Maybe I'll play a little bit of it at the end here. Um, And that's it. Hang in there. We're over halfway through the semester. Hang in there. Okay. That's it.